Hi! Hi. Welcome to my book video. I am in such an odd mood today.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Care's Book Corner yet again. We are back at it, and today we are going to be talking about books that I think are underrated. By underrated, I mean books that I think don't get the recognition it deserves. People may not like it as much as compared to other books. People may not talk about it. I don't see a lot about it on the internet, although I will caveat this with saying that for some reason I fell off of the Bookstagram algorithm. I just don't get book content pushed to me anymore, so these may be talked about, but as far as I know, these are not talked about. As usual, for my book corner videos, I try to coordinate my shirt to the topic, and today I am wearing a shirt that says ILYSB, and it stands for I love you stupid bitch. And the reason why I am wearing this shirt, a couple reasons. The first is this is merch from a band called Lainey. If you haven't heard of Lainey, love them. Underrated. One of my favorite bands. I see them every time they're in concert in my area. Second reason is the person who bought me this shirt is underrated, and the person who bought me this shirt is the cousin. She is underrated. She deserves everything, and everyone should be praising her, in my opinion. The third is I just love these books. I love you, comma, to these books, stupid bitch. And if you're wondering why the cousin bought me this shirt, we both thought it was hilarious, and I was gonna buy it for us. But then I texted her, should I buy these for us? And then she texted me back saying, I already did. And if that's not couple goals, I don't know what is. Anyways, we use the term bitch in a very endearing and positive notation. It's not her calling me an actual bitch most of the time. I've been rambling long enough, as I do. Let's get right into it. The first book is Almond. Almond was a 4.5-star read for me. Whenever someone asks me for recommendation, and they seem like the type to kind of like a darker but yet still kind of wholesome book, I would recommend this to them, because Almond, as the cover says, is a tender exploration of adolescence, and I really think that's true. This book is just like so gentle, but it talks about such not gentle things. I would read any trigger warnings before reading this book. I really like this, and I think it's underrated. I see it popping up more now so than before. Like, it's just so good. It's translated from Korean. It's really about this kid who was born with a brain condition who doesn't allow him to feel emotions, or makes it hard for him to feel emotions. You kind of learn about his life and the things that he's been through, learning about him trying to make friends and trying to make sense of who he is in this world, especially with that condition. I love this book. It's underrated, truly underrated, because I don't hear people talking about it. I don't hear people mentioning it enough. I feel like this video is just going to turn into books that I recommend, but with a filter of people don't recommend these books enough. This next one kind of contradicts that. The next one is Book Lovers. As of right now, this is my favorite Emily Henry book. I rated this a 4.5 stars. I am currently reading Funny Story, so that may not be true in the next couple of weeks after I finish that book. As a book lover, this book is underrated. I feel like a lot of people don't like this book. It's an enemies to lovers book between two book lovers, and I just think it's adorable. And it's a quick read, it's a fast read, underrated, because again, not many people say that this is their favorite Emily Henry. I think when this book first came out, a lot of the reviews were pretty negative, so I was hesitant to read it, but I read it and I think it's cute and I like it. The next book, What You Are Looking For, is in the library. This book, so underrated. I feel like I am a bit of a hoe for translated literature. This book, I think, is just like so cute and it's so wholesome, and I feel like I read this book when I needed to, in the sense of like I read it when I was going through a lot of what the characters in this book go through. It's a collection of short stories. It's fairly similarly laid out to Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This book right here, this book isn't talked about as much as books like Before the Coffee Gets Cold, but I feel like it has the same tone and same whimsicality. Is that a word? Whimsicality? It has the same whimsicalness. It has same like learning life lessons through a story. And like I said, I read this at a really good time in my life where I was contemplating a lot about my life and my profession and all of that. And this book just reminded me that it's all gonna be okay. Go to the library, read some books, kind of escape from your life. Love this book, would recommend it. Adorable, underrated, because I don't see people talk about it. I feel like I've seen like a couple of people recommend it. I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5. The next book that I think is underrated is Please Look After Mom. I think it's underrated because I literally have never heard of this book before I bought it. I don't think I would have purchased this book if it weren't the fact that this was the only English book I saw in the bookstore that I went to. And obviously that's not true. There were other English books, but I feel like this one caught my eye. This book is underrated. It does seem fairly popular. I haven't heard of it, so to me, underrated. It's about this mom who gets lost at a train station. You can hear her family talk about their relationship with her. I read the Goodreads after reading this book to decide what I actually thought about it. There were a lot of reviews that were relatively negative. I actually really enjoyed this book. I rated it a 4.75, and I really liked it because when I was reading it, I was traveling with my mom. In the book, the mom gets lost at Seoul Station, and I, after reading this, started getting paranoid that I was going to lose my mom at Seoul Station every time we went. It was just the factor of I was reading it with my mom around, and a lot of this book is talking about how moms are unappreciated. I feel like in general, we don't really think about our parents' life before us. Like, we kind of forget that they did have a life before us until we actually think about it. And I feel like this is somewhat in that sense of like an identity outside of a mom. I really liked it. Like, I cried during it. I'm really close to my mom. I feel like this book kind of hit home for me. Please Look After Mom. Underrated. The next book, I don't have my copy physically with me right now. I gave it to the cousin who is reading it. Hopefully she sees this video after she finishes reading it, because I've been trying to not tell her my actual thoughts as to not influence her. The book that I'm talking about is The Last Chance Library. I love this book. This was my first 5-star read for a while. Like, I haven't rated a book of 5 stars for the past year. All of 2023, no 5 stars. All of 2024 up to this point, no 5 stars. The Last Chance Library is such a cute book. It had me giggling and kicking my feet. It had me crying. I truly believe that you read books when you need to read books, and like the message that you interpret may be different than other people. That's kind of the thread of what you're looking for in the library. But I think that The Last Chance Library is underrated because I haven't really heard about it much at all, but it's so cute. Like, it's such a cute book. It's not technically a romance book. Like, the book is about this one librarian's adventure to save the library that she works at. And romance is a subplot, but honestly, as someone who like loves reading romance, I didn't even need that romance. Like, that romance subplot did not do much for me. But the book itself, like, I have never been so invested in a fictional library. As someone who doesn't really frequent the library, I was like, I want to start going. That book made me want to go to my local library, check out books, just to make sure that the library stays around. I love, love, love The Last Chance Library, and I really don't hear people talk about it. Like, I haven't seen much about it. The only reason why I bought it when I saw it at the bookstore was it was discounted. Like, the cover was cute. I feel like the whole premise of the book was just so wholesome. In this world, especially in this climate of this world, in this economy, we just all need a little wholesomeness. We just need a win. And that book was a win for me. So I'd recommend it with my whole chest. And it was like a really quick and easy read for me. Made me laugh. It made me cry. The next book, Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. And I read this book a couple years ago. When I think about this book, I still think about like how much I enjoyed it. And it's been a couple of years. Can I tell you a lot about the plot? No. But can I tell you that I liked it? For sure. I don't remember what I rated it, but I think it was maybe either 4.5, 4.75, or 5. And the reason why I like this book is because I just felt seen, I felt known by this book because of the accurate depiction it has of like depression. And like, I just really liked how it was written. Depression and anxiety wasn't idealized in any way. It was written in a very realistic way where sometimes you just kind of go through the motions. And so this book is about the main character who, looking for free therapy, ended up going to a church, and the pastor thought that she was applying for a job, and she was just going through the motions. After she got the job, you kind of learn more about her story, the church's story. I'm not doing a good job describing this book. It's kind of slice of life, but I think it's amusing and it's real and it's honest. I don't see this again a lot in videos, content. This book is just good. This is a good book. Would recommend it. I think it's completely underrated. The next book is All the Lovers in the Night. Not only is this title beautiful, I love this title, but I also love this book. From cover to cover, love this book. I feel like this book is also underrated because of the fact that it doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. I feel like when you think Miko Kawakami, you think Breast and Eggs. You don't necessarily think All the Lovers in the Night, but I haven't read Breast and Eggs yet, and I will. I promise. All the Lovers in the Night, I feel like, is what I think about when I think Miko Kawakami. Love this book. This book, similarly to Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, it's written about fairly similar things. This book is a lot about loneliness, being a human, being alone in this world. I rated this a 4.25. So this book is about a character who is going through life with ennui. It's not like a riveting page turner by any means, but it does tell a good story, and it does talk a lot about just like the human condition of being lonely, trying to find love, falling into infatuation with people. Would recommend. Underrated, completely underrated. Like, just look at the title. All the Lovers in the Night, great title. My arm tired. My last book, and this should surprise literally no one. Love in Other Words, what can I say? You may be like, Care, this book is incredibly popular. People love this book. Rightfully so. Is it still underrated? Yes, it is. Here's the thing. Like I said, my definition of underrated is does not get the love it deserves. This book deserves all the love. Anyone who did not like this is wrong. I get everyone has their own opinion. It's okay to have wrong opinions sometimes, and if you don't like it, rethink it a little bit. Think about it again, because this book is so cute. This book had me giggling, kicking my feet, had me crying. All the emotions, they were there. I love this book. This is a childhood friends to lovers romance book, and it's so cute. It's just so cute. It's just so cute. It's second chance romance. It's like The Neighbor Next Door, and I can't with this book. Underrated because it deserves all the love. If you haven't read this, it's a quick one. It's a fast one. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I would highly recommend. I mention this book in every book video, and sometimes not book videos, because I want to shove this down people's throats. Respectfully, politely shove it down your throat. Everyone should know how much I love this book by now, so I'm gonna stop talking about it. I am going to wrap this video up here. Leave in the comments down below if you have any underrated books that you would also like to shove down people's throats respectfully, if you think I missed any, or if you hate any of the books that I think are underrated, and then we can debate it in the comments perhaps. Anyway, I'm gonna go because my arm's tired from holding this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to and you haven't yet, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And then I will see you in the next one. Bye! My back hurts. Read this book. Truly, honestly. It's a quick one. It's an easy one. It's a good one. It's a cute one. It's everything to me. Has a little bit of trauma. Has everything that I want in a book. Childhood friends to lovers. Little bit of trauma. Emotional connection. Time to fill the thumbnail.